I know Drip's here for it. Dirty, what you here for it too?
I don't know, dude. This Gabby Cakes guy is just giving me the willies. Like the homie is gambling 200 mil on tweets right now, and I don't think he realized that. He's just got his like 15 seconds of fame, and it's just like immediately skyrocketed into his brain, and he's just like tweeting the most absurd stuff.
This is my favorite one. I have to wear the suit everywhere I go now, so no one is disappointed. People are constantly complimenting me on my profile picture.
I love it though. Like, what other world and what other space do we occupy or live in where someone can raise that amount of money and then say the dumbest stuff on Twitter regularly?
It's just like,
Like, it's
dude.
amazing. Like, how could you not be all about like it's just I feel like I'm watching a slow motion train wreck, but at the same time, it could recover
I'm a Gabby Maxi all day at this point.
all day. All day.
No, God!
What is up? It is episode 6 of Exit Liquidity. Back on stage here with the DGens from Alpha Min. I got my boy Dirty Milk. I got my boy Drip Cult. And we are kicking it off here on the first day of September. Gentlemen, how's it going?
Dude, it feels like this year's gone so fast.
So fast.
Already September.
It is crazy. Yeah, you know what? The summer is basically coming to an end. I think we're in the last week here. Kids go back to school, people go back to work, getting the last of the holidays, the summer vacations in and whatnot. And honestly, it's not surprising to me that the lack of volume in NFTs and even actually the lack of volume in crypto, as we've hit some local lows in terms of trading in just the traditional crypto space, and even stock markets tend to take a little bit of a backseat during this time. It all kind of lines up. But I mean, I do think that there's a lot of really exciting things that are coming out right now, that are happening right now. And once the attention comes back to making money, sitting down at your desk, paying attention to all of these things, I think the fun and the excitement will start to ramp back up as we go through September, October. I don't know. You guys feeling the same thing, or you think we're in for it for a little bit longer?
I'm hoping so. At the very least. But yeah.
I hope so, but I don't think so.
Yeah, it's been a little quiet.
Keeping my eye on the Dune analytics on the OpenSea volume, like it really has like just bottomed out, but it seems to be almost like sideways now, right? Like it's almost like the volume can't get any worse. Just like a couple of Bored Ape trades or something is just propping up the whole market. But I do actually think that we'll get back there, and it's only just a matter of time. Hence why we're still doing podcasts and creating content around this stuff. I think if any of the three of us believed that this stuff was dead, I don't think we'd be up here talking about it week in and week out. But on that note, happy to be back here with you guys.
Of course.
I mean, I feel like it definitely is dead, but like I'm still very interested in the space. So I'm gonna be here just talking shit anyway.
I thoroughly enjoy losing money, so
Me too, yeah.
any opportunity I can get.
My favorite. It's like my pastime now. I just like, how can I lose money today? That's how I wake up every morning.
I'm actually here for the art, so I don't mind holding the zero. So
Perfect, love it. Yeah. Well, you know what? That's we won't get into it yet, but we will be talking a little bit about art, more like generative art projects and stuff like that. We have some takes on that, but getting into just the general market. I mean, what Bitcoin, crypto, ETH took a little bit of a dump basically just after we were on the show last week. It started creeping back down, but I think most people are of the consensus that it was just healthy kind of reconsolidation. We shot back up to $2,000 ETH really quickly after being down into the 3 digits back in June. Hard to believe that was actually 3 months ago. But NFTs, again, just taking a sidelines. DigiDaigaku continues to be the story of the summer right now, kind of taking the reins from Goblin Town, which was a great start to the summer. Lots of news coming out of Proof Collective and the Proof ecosystem. And what else do we got here? We got, the Metaverse. MTV doing like the Metaverse Performance Award, and then Eminem and Snoop Dogg doing a little bit of a live metaverse performance themselves. I find this very interesting. And again, like if you're ever feeling down about the situation that are in, just remember people aren't like, when I say people, I say big companies, shows, all of this stuff, they're not shying away from the fact that this stuff exists, right? Like they're still leaning into it. We are still seeing this in the midst of a bear market. If you want to take yourselves back to 2017, 2018, before NFTs were like really a thing, they existed, but not really in the mainstream. But crypto, you'd hear big news about, a car company potentially looking to move their stuff on chain. I think Audi was one back then that was like part of the Ethereum Foundation. And then once crypto started crashing, everyone was like, yeah, we were just kind of thinking about it. We weren't super serious. We saw the crypto crash kind of go down earlier this year. NFTs obviously doing it. But I mean, the former Staples Center is still named crypto.com. Like they have the FTX Center. If you watch baseball, every single ump has an FTX patch on them. There's still the soccer teams that are getting sponsored, and like,
is it fortune favors the brave?
Yeah. Well, Matt Damon's down bad on that one, but again, we're not seeing this like massive like pullback on big brands in their interaction with crypto. We even see luxury clothing brands like Louis Vuitton and Gucci like still expanding the amount of cryptocurrencies and the amount of stores that they're accepting payments and all of that stuff. That makes me feel real good. Going further into it, MTV had their Video Music Awards over the weekend. As I mentioned earlier, they did their Metaverse Performance of the Year award. Up for nominees was the likes of Ariana Grande, Blackpink, who actually ended up winning, BTS, which is a gigantic name, Justin Bieber, 21 Pilots, right? And when they say metaverse, this is in the realm of like the Fortnites and the Roblox of the world. We're not talking about, Decentraland and whatnot, but just a social gathering in some kind of digital landscape. I often talk about this. I think I've mentioned it on this show and the other shows and the other stuff that I do. My son talks about the Travis Scott concert that happened in Fortnite as though he was there, right? This was an experience that he shared with his friends in the midst of a pandemic. They logged on together. They were in the same show together. They were doing their dancing emojis and stuff like that. To him, this was a real experience. And these brands, MTV in particular, continuing to lean into the fact that, for us, particularly a younger demographic, this stuff really does matter. Now let's get into Eminem and Snoop Dogg basically sitting on a couch at the VMAs and doing their own kind of augmented reality, sort of mixed reality metaverse thing. Reactions, not so great. I think from the outside looking in, to people that aren't NFT degens, that aren't following Bored Apes, I think it was pretty lackluster. What do you guys think? Dirty Milk, what was your reaction? Because I know you watched it. I know that you have some thoughts on it. Like, just hit me. Tell it like it is.
I mean, did I think it was cool? Like, yes. Did I think it was good for the space? Yes. Was I entertained? No. I just like, especially if you can compare it to the Travis Scott concert, which was I watched live. Like I in Fortnite, I was playing the game or whatever. It was incredibly impressive. I think that there's some aspects of this that are cool. Like, I don't know if we've touched on, I believe that this was kind of built within the other side engine, correct? Or
there seems to be some pretty strong thoughts that the performance that Eminem and Snoop Dogg did was actually in the other side game engine, and that you are getting kind of a sneak peek of what a concert in the other side would look like. Yeah, I mean, I believe most people are of that assumption now.
so that is cool, but that is only cool to 10,000 people. Well, sorry, not even 10,000 people. How many holders of Bored Apes are there?
I think it's just 12.
Like that's just like what that's like kind of my logic is like that's really cool from our perspective. But if you're watching the the VMAs, it's just like that doesn't translate to everybody watching it. So in my opinion, is it cool for the space? Yes. Was it fun a little bit? Was it entertaining? It just seemed kind of like bunk graphics while two of the biggest artists on the planet sat on the couch.
Yeah, Drip, how did you feel about it?
I thought it was dumb. I thought it was a terrible move. I mean, like, dude, there's so many cool things they could have done. Like, it was That was not it. That was absolutely not it. Yeah, like I mean, you kind of summed it up perfectly right there. Like two of the best artists in the world sat on a sofa while a video played. Like that's lame. And like I get what it was representing was kind of cool, especially for us as being 3D gens in the NFT space. But like overall, like they had such a good opportunity to expose people to board apes, NFTs, the metaverse, quote unquote. Like and that was not the way to do it.
Yeah, and I wish I could show the video in this, but we already did that on the AM show and got a copyright strike, so we will not be playing it live. Thank you so much, Viacom, you guys, NGMI. But
I feel like they got a rude awakening for what's coming if they want to get into Web3.
I don't get it, right? Like I'm not gonna act like we have a huge audience or whatever, but surely showcasing your stuff in another kind of branch or whatever, like, can't be a bad thing. But yeah, of course, I think within 2 hours of uploading the video, it got a copyright strike. So yeah, they're on top of their stuff. Thank you so much. I personally find this very bullish. I agree. From the outside looking in, some of the animations were like, let's just say PS3 era, weren't overly impressive. The lip syncing on it was a little off. It was a little flat. The movements weren't like super crisp or whatever. But if this was part of the other side thing, graphics often come last, right? Like they build the platform, they build the engine, they stress test the shit out of it to make sure that they can have X thousand amount of people or tens of thousands of people, or when you get to Fortnite scale or something, hundreds of thousands of people existing on servers simultaneously, right? What got me really excited was the fact that when they did this, there was no disclaimer, there was nothing up front that said this is an NFT project, this is Bored Apes, this is in the other side. They really just put it out there very matter of factly. And I do think that as we shift from mainstream awareness to mainstream adoption, getting people very comfortable with the fact that this just exists and you don't have to jam the word NFT down everybody's throats and Web3 and stuff like that, I think will go a very long way. It also got me surprisingly bullish on the other side and Yuga again, just simply for the fact that it was a good reminder of what kind of brand, like, star power they have. Because when you look at the list, and we've mentioned this before, I think we've done some segments on Bored Ape holders, or we've done some research on it. Regardless, Eminem and Snoop Dogg, two of the preeminent performers in the music industry, but barely stops there. I mean, Madonna, Justin Bieber, Post Malone. Then you have people like Jimmy Fallon, Serena Williams. Like, the list is like absolutely gigantic in terms of entertainment that will likely translate into the other side, right? If we talk about how big of a deal the Fortnite concert was with Travis Scott, or the Ariana Grande, or Justin Bieber performing in Roblox, and like what that meant to the community, if you start lining up Justin Bieber throwing a free concert in the other side metaverse, and the other side ends up being like a free to download and free to like enter, maybe you have a Bored Ape, you get to go in there as that avatar, and that's a super dope flex. You've got a cool skin, but like, anybody can just go and check it out. People will 100% download it to go see Justin Bieber perform, to go see Post Malone perform, to go see Snoop Dogg and Eminem. And if those are the kind of concerts that they're going to be throwing inside of a metaverse, and that's like the first take of it, I think that's pretty amazing, man. And you're right. I do think that maybe they could have put forward a better first foot, right? Because I think people did
I
find it
mean,
lackluster.
we all know graphics don't matter. I mean, some of the biggest games in the world, like Minecraft and Roblox, and even Fortnite doesn't have the best of graphics. So like they don't matter, but like it's a video presentation. Like all that matters is how it looks, and it looked bad.
Yeah,
I do tend to agree with that. Like, I don't know. Like, I get, like, we think like it's even for us to like, we understand the cool aspects of it, but like, at least for Drip and I, we understand what makes it cool, but we still weren't impressed. Like, I just think that that's kind of like like, I mean, I guess I was impressed in the sense of like them using the other side, but I just don't think it added, like, nobody in the audience that was watching this. That's why I said it was a kind of it's only cool to like 10K people, where
Yeah.
that's not like those 10K people are already convinced that Bored Ape is cool.
Yeah, we bought in.
So it's just,
You know who hated it? Reddit. Oh, man, the Eminem
dude, Reddit
subreddit.
is
They were
just
just
mad
so
about
angry.
Dude, they
Hate everything. and
Reddit
everyone.
hates NFTs, and Reddit introduced NFTs, and they're
Yeah.
so mad about it.
I love it.
It's
Love
it's
it.
so funny, dude, because like the guy who created Reddit, Alexis
Ohanian,
fucking
yeah.
last name. Yeah, he just spun up another fund, another Web3 fund for a couple hundred million. Like
Yeah.
it's the dude's all in on it, and his main platform is just so anti. It's so funny.
No, honestly, I actually just almost as a counter trade am incredibly bullish on anything that Reddit isn't, as long as it's not like human rights stuff and whatnot, right? Like I'm not going down that path, but like in terms of technology and stuff like that, people are like NFTs, crypto, and like yeah, it's coming.
Double down.
Well, yeah, I mean it's
Inverse
just
Reddit. You should start the inverse Reddit account. Have you seen the inverse Kramer account?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, you should
Might
start
not be a
inverse
bad
Reddit
idea.
account.
Yeah, we'll just lean into that a little bit farther. You know what though? Again, just this is just the next step in NFTs existing and the idea of like digital ownership and digital provenance just becoming an accepted fundamental part of the landscape that we are in, because we exist in a digital world increasingly more and more and more as time goes on. Everything is transitioning into digital, and why shouldn't ownership and money and all of that stuff do it as well? And I think that I don't think we're ever going to look back on this performance as like a big first step or anything like that. But I thought it was cool that it just kind of popped up, and they didn't make like a big deal of it, and it was just it just kind of existed. So Snoop Dogg is also like a walking billboard at this point for like promoting NFT projects and whatnot. Like every video I've seen of him in the last 2 weeks is he's wearing like a Bored Ape sweater and whatnot.
Yeah, it's got to be the easiest performance of their lives as well.
I do think they were actually rapping though. Like I think they were doing it from the couch.
I am 100% confident that no artist that performs on any of those shows is performing live.
Could be right. Could be right.
But that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll. I'm sure that we'll bring up more in the future as these performances continue to happen, because they will. They will. There will be Bored Apes integrated. I remember actually like this year, the Super Bowl was supposed to be like the big moment where like they're all Bored Ape holders, like we're going to the moon. And
Oh,
it was like,
yeah.
oh god, that was a big L for us talking that one up. But whatever. Let's talk about the exact opposite of a big L. DigiDaigaku, I don't know if we talked about it last week, but we've definitely talked about it on this show before. And man, they were up to a 17 ETH floor, cooled off now, sitting at 14.2 on my screen, whatever, 13, yeah, 14 ETH, let's just call it there. Absolutely insane the run this project has been on. And it really isn't stopping. And one of the big things that are propelling it right now is the idea that they do have an airdrop coming, but Limit Break, headed up by Gabriel Layden, are causing a lot of ruckus and stirring the pot and just being very, very loud and vocal on Twitter. Gabriel Layden has just burst onto the scene, getting, thousands and thousands of followers a day. I mean, at this point, 15K followers from almost zero is pretty good, but like with how many people have left and stopped paying attention to the NFC scene, like, those are probably 15,000 real followers and gaining frequently. Limit Break announcing that they have raised $200 million to build the Web3 MMO game of their dreams, backed by Coinbase, backed by, I believe, FTX, and a bunch of other, like, just gigantic heavy hitters. And Gabriel Layden is turning into a little bit of a polarizing figure. I personally read his tweets a lot like Donald Trump's, honestly. Like, he is really leaning into the egregious self-promotion, talking themselves up, the biggest names in the space, the $200 million fund, we're marketing, I'm famous now, everyone loves my suit, my tweets are being, like, really just going for it. And I'm kind of here for it, to be honest with you. Love them or hate
Dude,
them.
I am all about it. I love it so much. It's so fun.
Love him or hate him, and I can't say that I particularly love this guy because there's been some pretty big evidence that maybe they don't fully understand Web3, and I'll touch on that very briefly. And they basically said they're going to create an entirely on-chain MMO, and an entirely on-chain MMO would mean that, like, every time you move, a transaction has to get confirmed, and you have to pay. Like, it won't really work like that, but I guess the ambition is there. I don't know. I know Drip's here for it. Dirty, what you here for it too?
I don't know, dude. This Gabby Cakes guy is just giving me the willies. Like like, homie is gambling 200 mil on tweets right now, and I don't think he realized that. He's just got his like 15 seconds of fame, and it's just like immediately skyrocketed into his brain, and he's just like tweeting the most absurd stuff. In my opinion, like, unless somebody needs to come to him and just be like, lay off Twitter, dude, because it's just like honestly, it's one of my favorite pastimes is watching these like projects just moon and then seeing the founders just do the dumbest stuff after, like, to follow it. It's crazy to me. I mean, he's not like I just like the stuff he's saying. It's like his intrusive thoughts are winning, and he's just putting them out there for the world to see. I think that, like, as far as DigiDaigaku goes, like, I don't really know what this means as far as them building, especially because he's like, they're like, what are you going to use the 200 mil on? He's like, marketing, which is great because I mean, we know most of these projects don't know how to market, but I just don't know. I'm just so curious. I'm just loving watching Gabby over here just friggin' just blow it, dude.
I love it though. Like, what other world and what other space do we occupy or live in where someone can raise that amount of money and then say the dumbest stuff on Twitter regularly?
It's just like,
it's
dude.
amazing. Like, how could you not be all about, like, it's just, I feel like I'm watching a slow motion train wreck, but at the same time, it could recover. Gabe could totally turn this into an actual game instead of just some, Ponzi scheme. I don't know, but like, I'm so excited to watch all of it. And of course, like, I have zero skin in the game. I have no DigiDaigaku's or any exposure to anything in his universe, but like, I have my popcorn. I'm ready to go. Like, I'm just going to sit on the sidelines and watch this either implode or explode into the moon, like.
I think going to the moon, I mean, Dirty Milk says you got to lay off Twitter and gambling $200 million on it. I seem to recall, what was it, the 45th president of the United States being told to lay off Twitter for a little bit too, and basically ended up as the world's most powerful man in the presidency for 4 years there. I wish I could do an impression of him too, because his tweets like literally just read like that as well. The one is like, oh God, he tweets so much. Somebody just told me I was famous and it freaked me out. Please don't make more of these. I can't take it.
Bro, guy.
Yeah, this is my favorite one. I have to wear the suit everywhere I go now, so no one is disappointed. People are constantly complimenting me on my profile picture.
It's like he's waited his whole life for somebody to notice him, and it only took $200 million.
And I feel like this is like, and I feel like it definitely like either goes one of two ways. Where one, he like realizes like, okay, I got to be responsible with my tweets, or two, it levels up and up and up and just ramps up, and he just says even more ridiculous things because he just wants attention. So like, that's why I'm absolutely here for it. Because it's gonna be so fun.
I just think that like he said $200 million for marketing, and he is just pulling it off for free, really, like
100%.
But let's not discount the fact that this guy does have a history of like some mega successful mobile gaming apps too, right?
True.
Yeah. What was it? Mobile Strike, and there was another one. They were at the top of the free-to-play app charts for a long time. They had ads on like national television spots that had Arnold Schwarzenegger and Kate Upton in them. They were good at marketing. They really were good at getting people to download and play their games. If DigiDaigaku is almost like a base layer of ownership for whatever they're about to put out there, I honestly think, and this is not financial advice, and I'm personally not buying at this price because I've already had DigiDaigaku and I sold way too early, and I'm coping with that every day now, but that's fine. I don't have the liquidity to support purchases at this level, which is not, I'm comfortable with that. I live with that, and that's okay. But I mean, there's clearly something here. They are doing something, and whether or
Dude,
not
I
people
mean,
agree with it or they enjoy it or they believe that it not he has a past performance. He has the money. He clearly knows people to raise $200 million in this economy with
very
the
true.
drawback of NFTs and crypto that we're in right now, and people are still willing to fund this guy. I don't know. It seems like it has the recipe to all be there.
That's the other
Yeah,
thing too. I mean, sorry, real quick, like
no, you're good.
so many brands have shown us like time and time again, like marketing is really the only thing that matters. I mean, up until recently, Apple was the king of that. They had subpar products, but sold them like they were top tier, when in reality, spec wise, they were not even close.
Maxie's punching the air right now.
Absolutely. It's all marketing.
Yeah, he definitely didn't spend it on a personality.
No, he did not.
I picture
No,
him
he
just
did
having like a closet full of these suits now too. He's just like he opens up a walk-in closet and it's literally just like 50 of the same suit and shirt.
I feel like he has replaced all the pictures in his house with his profile picture. Like that's the vibe that I'm getting.
Well, in true NFT degen fashion too, somebody put up like a collection of like 100 pictures of Gabe Layden on OpenSea and started selling them for like $40 a pop, and then next thing you know, they're sitting at like a $600 floor or something like that. Like it's just it truly is just the most magical place in the world. Disneyland, take a seat. We're here for it. I love it. This guy is not going anywhere. This is going to be something that's
Like
around.
it only gets better. I'm so here for it.
And we're really
Yeah,
just
this
in the.
just seems like the tip of the iceberg for this guy.
You took the words
I
right
mean,
out of my mouth. Yeah.
I'm a Gabby Maxi all day at this point.
All
so-
day. All day.
Did that? Would just change your tune? I thought at the beginning of this you were pretty bearish on
Well,
Gabby.
no, I just love watching people fumble. So it's just great.
Oh.
Like this homie is just gonna be playing hot potato for the next like I don't know, however long Digi lasts.
He's
but
like his own
I'm
Ponzi
here for it.
scheme where he just has to constantly keep one-upping himself just to maintain relevance and everything.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay. I have a question for you guys.
Yeah, hit
So
me.
Digi-Daigaku floor sitting at 14 ETH. After the airdrop, are we going super down, a little down, or does it stay or go up?
Ooh, I say
I don't
I'm
think
calling.
it's-
Okay,
on
I'm gonna
there.
get specific.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say
Smart.
11.5 after airdrop, but airdrop is gonna go. What is the typical spread for airdrops?
I
Isn't
think
it
you
like
generally
two-
get about 25%.
Yeah, usually quarter.
I'm
Depends
gonna
what the
say
supply
11 and a
though
half.
is. We're dealing with a collection of 2K. That's the interesting thing to me here is that 2K is very, very low. I mean, yeah, okay, it's 25% of 8K.
I don't think there's been any more details on the airdrop.
No, they're being pretty vague about it, but again, being very vocal about the fact that it is going down. I do think that it will follow the traditional airdrop where it's like there were a handful of people that bought this, got the airdrop, they're going to liquidate, but typically you don't end up profiting off of it. It's like, Dirty Milk said, you might get 3 ETH for the airdrop, but the price of the DigiDaigaku dropped by 3 ETH down to like 11.5, and therefore your total ends up being about the same. But again, like 2K, I think it's maybe just under 800 unique holders. And I love it.
It's like
What
is it 758 holders? So
it's not hard to get 800 people to drink the Kool-Aid.
no.
You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
can totally find 800 people that are
Okay,
being like,
wait.
I'm holding this
what's
till
your
I
answer?
die.
Does the floor price go down or up?
Down slightly and then up. I think it dips like
Down slightly and then up.
I think it dips very briefly, and then people are. Unless they really do something that's underwhelming, and let's be honest, okay? Like, let's look at the art of DigiDaigaku and everything. Like, it didn't blow my mind. These revealed, and my instant thought was like, oh, okay, we had our fun. It got to 3 ETH. It's gonna settle in at around 1.5 ETH and then slowly die out. That's a loss. I admit it. I was wrong, but like, I'm not at a point where I'm just like, these are going to be relics or something. Like, I don't know. Dirty Milk, you're here for the art.
I want boba now that I'm looking at this.
These seem like the art that like the sketchy goth chick from high school had on her wall.
Not like the loner weeb guy at school, but like
the guy that runs
too.
to the
They usually
cafeteria doing the
coexist.
Naruto run.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like Lisa Frank like grew up. It's like, I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
who Lisa Frank
okay,
is.
I'll go on board with that one.
You don't remember Lisa Frank? They had like the
I had a
colorful
sister, so
binders and
absolutely.
stuff.
Yeah, we both had older sisters, so we absolutely remember.
Yeah.
Not me, man. All right, that's enough DigiDaigaku. The cope inside of me is just like boiling to a head. We're gonna move on.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
It's gonna be so fun.
no,
It's
from a content standpoint and just watching it all happen, I love it. It is great. All right, let's talk about Proof Collective also making some noise in the space, as they have been for the last little while. The Proof Collective passes, of course, 1,000 of them. They were at one point over 100 ETH floor right around the Moonbirds time. I'm really starting to drink the Kevin Rose Kool-Aid. I slept on it for a little while, but started listening to his podcast, and I'm starting to realize how in on this stuff he really is. This isn't just like a passing fad for him. Another rich VC gets into NFTs and starts talking to them for a little bit because it's flavor of the month. It is more and more apparent, even despite what he said in the past, that Proof is his entire focus now. This is an ecosystem that he is dedicated to build, and he's good at this stuff. He is very smart. He's very well connected. He's very good at furthering along the discussion in a very positive, well-received manner, and they just continue to seem to do the right things. Now, Proof obviously has cooled down in this bull market, or bear market, I should say. I think it's at about a 60 ETH floor right now. Still nothing to shake a stick at. Moonbirds, I think, down to, about 12 ETH. Oddities,
Where are they at?
down about 1 ETH. I'm just going off memory here, but
Yeah.
They continue to expand their ecosystem. They announced Mythics. They've just announced a token, and they've just announced a casual $50 million raise from Andreessen Horowitz, or led by Andreessen Horowitz, A16Z.
There's some
Again,
dude,
we're
Gary
seeing
Vee, Flamingo DAO. Like, there's some well-known names in this too. Like, people who have a history and with good investments.
Yeah. They are trucking along. $50 million, a nice little chunk of change to continue the Proof ecosystem and build upon it.
I think everyone was waiting for it, and they announced the token, which I feel like was still kind of like not a shock, but I feel like it was like, whoa, okay, they're actually going to go for it. I mean, like, it was kind of like inevitable, but like them actually announcing it and saying like next year, or I don't think they actually, I don't think they actually gave a date on token, but Mythics is next year.
They did a derivative collection. They did a derivative of a derivative collection. They fulfilled the when token thing. I feel like the only thing left on their checkbox is some kind of P2E game, just kind of saying that tongue in cheek.
I mean, they talked about Hightower, but it looks like Hightower is going to be more of a marketplace. I'm not sure. That's what I got from the video anyway. But
do you think they're over diluting their supply though? Like, do you think that there can be too much stuff? Because Proof Pass, Moonbirds Odyssey, Moonbirds Mythics, they do the Grails collection, which is actually really cool. Token now coming. Like, how much is too much? Or does it matter? Like, are they just that good? Are they that well connected and that desirable to be in on anything Proof that they can pull it off? Because we've seen the likes of things like Cool Cats that just like the slightest misstep and it just tanks their project. Like, is this just the juggernaut that's you're going to be talking about Yuga and you're going to be talking about Proof?
Dude, absolutely. Yeah. I think Proof replaces Yuga. Like, absolutely.
I'd have to agree with that. I mean, it seems like this is just so much more an investment in the leadership than it is an investment in the like roadmap,
Yeah.
as far as proof goes. Which I could argue would be the same for Yuga, but like they're just so much more established in the space. This is the new hot chick on the block. Um, I don't know.
I mean,
I don't think I think that if anybody is going to do this with grace and make it work, it's going to be them. It's kind of a shit answer on will they succeed, but I just think if anybody has the capability to, it would be proof.
I don't think there's
proof
any
might be
question. Sorry, Drip, I will let you go in just a sec. I don't think there's any question about success because I think they've already made it. Like, no pun intended, the proof is in the
Yeah.
pudding, right? Like,
but
it's just
that's what I was going to say is like Kevin Rose has not only made it in the NFT scene, but he has a huge track record in like tech and VCs, like with tech and with VCs. And that's what a lot of people don't realize or seem to forget.
and that's important too, right?
It's
Because
huge.
when you strip away all of the volume and activity of NFTs where flipping was super profitable and minting and just all of the degen activity, at its core, the technology is still pretty profound and the fundamentals of it haven't changed despite the price, right? So if you were bullish on NFTs when they were very expensive, you still can be bullish on NFTs now. There's nothing wrong with that, despite your portfolio maybe being down 50 to 99%. Like, who knows? But when you talk about Kevin Rose being a very successful tech entrepreneur and VC in that realm, I mean, this is a guy who has clearly defined track record of success in the technology space that is saying NFTs and Web3 are big enough and the potential is big enough for me to invest a lot of time and a lot of energy and shift my entire career focus to doing it 100% of the time. And when the smartest person or the smartest people in the room are basically out in public saying, guys, like, this stuff is important, it's pretty hard not to listen to them. You know what I mean?
I guess, yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I guess the other thing too to think about is like where can you position yourself in this ecosystem? Like I think most people are guaranteed to be priced out of the proof pass. I mean, 60 ETH for
Sure.
the normal person is just not
And even a
realistic.
little bit of volume caused that floor to go up to 80. Like, you know what I
Oh,
mean? Like, it's,
absolutely. And then it's like next would be Moonbirds, which semi attainable, but like realistically, you're looking at what Grails or oddities.
yep.
But I do know what was it? I think yeah, the mythics. I know that oddities will get you a mythic, so that's definitely something to look at, and that's where I would be focused. That's where I am focusing. But if I was also like in the space like trading or looking to get into proof or get some exposure, like that's your play. Watch oddities, get some mythics, look out and watch out for any token announcements or any ways to maximize your token airdrops.
The mythics look good too. The sneak peeks that they put out there, they look pretty clean.
Yeah, I'm not sure. They should like in the video they showed a bunch of different styles, and so I'm not sure which one they like are going to finish or not finish, going to decide on. But the sneak peeks were very cool. I was very hyped on them.
Yeah, and
That's one of
I just want to go back to like them in talking in public about how important or how big NFTs and crypto can be. But the other thing that Kevin Rose talks about all the time is generative art, right? And again, like I've I've heard it time and time. Generative art's going to have its time. It's going to have its place. It's going to be important and whatnot. And this is again somebody that's putting his money where his mouth is and loading up on all types of generative art and launching generative art. You
yeah.
know? So
It's
uh,
it's definitely like I mean if you don't want to trade and you don't want to have to grind, like just stick your money in proof and you're going to win. Like I can almost guarantee you that. I can't guarantee a lot of things in the NFT space, but like I will guarantee that like proof will win. Like you will win holding proof.
do you want to throw the NFA tag on that one too, or?
Absolutely not.
Okay, perfect.
No, I'm kidding. Yes, not financial advice,
Yeah,
but I'm just saying
I'm like,
like
oh god,
do,
I'm like,
do your research. I'm not a financial advisor in any shape, way, or form, but like my bet is foolproof. Like all pun not intended.
oh, we got the
Camera died. I had a feeling it was going to. It's so hot here today. It's been so hot in Boise. Let me switch my cameras out.
Dirty, any final thoughts on the whole proof ecosystem? Like, are you buying in on it? Or you seem pretty confident that like proof will overtake Yuga?
I don't even know. I think that they have a lot more success on the horizon than the success that they've already made, on top of the success they've already made. And I think that Kevin Rose is a pretty sound bet. I mean, they could change the whole collection to Kevin Rose maxis, and I think they do just as well.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a zero-sum game. Like, you know, Nike and Adidas both exist and stuff like that. And sure, Nike's bigger, but it will be very interesting to see where we are in 5 years and comparing the two in that kind of time horizon. So yeah, we'll check back in on Exit Liquidity episode number 522. Put it in your book.
There was something. There it is.
Quick maps.
Let me see.
That'd be 10 years, sorry.
Official. That you said Eaglet. I don't know what this is. This is I thought this is kind of cool, and we talked about this in the newsletter a couple weeks back. But like Adidas is doing like it's called September, powered by Adidas Originals, and it just kind of like reinforces my original idea on that like move to earn is going to become a thing. Because I mean, never disregard like fitness or health, especially when it comes to like technology.
September is dope branding too. Like,
that's a cool name. It's a cool name. You know? I'm not sure. I don't know how this works at all. I literally saw it when we were doing show prep. So this could totally be not what I think it is, but I'm pretty sure it is. It's just, okay, yeah, it's not just a stepping competition designed so you can earn the most eaglet. I don't know what that is, but I just think you're going to see more of this. More like, I think keep an eye out for move to earn is basically all I'm saying.
Well, if the market continues the way it is, I think most people are going to be going back to work to earn. But
that's fair. That's fair.
Ew. How many are you cutting any more hair these days, Dirty Milk?
I'm getting close. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
All right. What else? Okay, so we talked about Eminem. We talked about DigiDaigaku and Gabriel Layden, Kevin Rose. I wanted to finish off this episode with a little bit of Would You Rather. Because why not? Yes. Right? We are in a time right now in the NFT market where there's been a lot of shakeups. Some floor prices have fallen disproportionately to others. And you have a lot of projects that are kind of sitting at the same level where they typically haven't been in the past. And I think that it is a pretty interesting conversation to have, right? Now, in saying so, it doesn't mean that we are buying this and you know, participating in the Would You Rather, but it's kind of just a thought exercise as to, you know, what you can be bullish on compared to something else. So the first one I wanted to bring out was something that I just mentioned Kevin Rose very bullish on, and that is the Chromie Squiggles. For those of you who have been living under a rock, Chromie is by Snowfro, who started the Art Blocks you know, collection, right? Like, he is the person behind Art Blocks, and this is typically regarded as probably one of the most important generative art collections.
This is the inaugural Art Blocks.
It is the inaugural Art Blocks one. It is sitting at right now, we're just going to round up to a 12 ETH floor, up from about 6 ETH a couple months ago. They have been moving, and you know, this is on the logo of a professional soccer team over in Europe, right? Like, this is on their jersey.
It's the Art Blocks logo too.
It's the Art Blocks logo, and they look pretty damn cool, right? Could totally see this on the wall of some, you know, bougie mansion or something like that, or maybe there one day. I wanted to pit this one up against something completely different. Mutant Apes, who are sitting at about a 13.5 ETH floor, right? So not exactly the same, but for all intents and purposes, we're going to say roughly the same price. Mutant Apes obviously ran up to, I think, 30 or 40 ETH during that Yuga run, where Bored Apes went to about 130 ETH floor, touching back on that, you know, the derivative, about 25% of that, 30% maybe at the time. 20K collection, so a little bit bigger than Chromie Squiggles. Well, double the size, but not Bored Apes, but one of Yuga's preeminent collections, and widely regarded as the kind of affordable little brother entrance into the Yuga ecosystem. So you have the choice between a Chromie Squiggle and a Mutant Ape, and you can choose this for any reason you want, even if it's simply I like looking at them more. I think it's going to make me more money. I'd rather hang it on my wall. I think it's going to be more important. Drip, what do you think? A Chromie Squiggle or a Mutant Ape Yacht Club?
I'm going Squiggle all day. I've always loved Chromie Squiggles. It's always been on the horizon. If I'm going to drop that amount of money, I'm probably looking to not necessarily not lose it. Obviously, I never want to lose it, but I'm saying I'm not looking to trade it. So I'm not looking for a flip. I'm not looking for something to make me a ton of money. I mean, like, if that happens too, would I ever say no? Of course not. But I also hate apes. I think they're the ugliest things ever.
The mutants or just in general?
The mutant apes, no, mutant apes specifically. I've always hated them. I can't stand looking at them. They're gross to me. I wouldn't want to look at this. And then, like, if that's also the other thing too, is if I spent this much on it, I'd want to show it off, and I would not want this to be my PFP ever.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, you're hosting a dinner party and people are like, "Oh, how's that NFT stuff that you're doing?" And you're like, "Check out this ape that I just bought.
Check this out. Check out this thing."
Well, okay, so interesting question then. What do you think your dinner guests would choose then if they were like tasked between a Chromie Squiggle, which, if you don't understand the historical relevance of it, might be a little bit underwhelming. Like, it's just this like little bouncy
Could
line.
be. A lot of people don't know you're actually, so like when you pull it up, you're supposed to click on it and then it dances.
It is true. A lot of people don't know that these are animated.
Yeah, I mean, I think if people didn't know the difference between them in sense of like what it represents, I think people would probably just pick the more expensive one because, like, I mean, I guess if they have to spend the money, maybe not, but I don't know. Like, value wise, I still think like trade wise, I think the mutant's a better trade. Like, you'll make more money off the mutant. Collecting wise, Squiggle all day, and that's I would want a Squiggle in my collection. Absolutely.
Short term, I have a hard time disagreeing with you, but I think if you buy a Squiggle and throw it in the vault, I think that if you look back on that in 10 years, probably
I agree.
That's a long time horizon, and that actually does kind of fit a long-term investment type time horizon, despite NFT degens telling you that a week is a long term. But Dirty Milk, go for it.
I have zero desire of just like holding JPEGs. So as from like the trader in me would definitely pick a mutant, just because I think having exposure to that ecosystem, the access that you get, there's a lot of opportunity for other projects, if you hold them through like whitelists and stuff like that. So I would go ape all day. I think the Squiggles are cool. I just I have zero desire of holding anything long enough like that, as long as I think that I would need to hold that in order to take a proper profit on. Yeah, I don't know. I still have a hard time just wrapping my head around, like, I don't collect like at all. I have zero desire to ever collect. If I'm frank, there's not a ton of projects that have like really made me stoked as far as like the art side. And if anything, I would just convince myself that I like the art because I'm holding it.
So you don't even have like a little bag that you're holding for like the 5-year, 10-year, I'm dying with this and leaving it in my will kind of thing? Like,
I mean, I have some like vaulted stuff, but it's like, it's not even anything that at this point is like, at this point I just like haven't sold it because it's like not worth the.
So you're talking about your hidden folder then?
No, not necessarily.
I'm kidding.
I do have like a vault, but like at this point, a lot of it's just stuff that is like friends projects I'm associated with that I can't sell. Like, yeah, I don't really have any desire to hold stuff ever, but so I would take a mutant any day with the intention of flipping or the intention of just utilizing the exposure it gives me to the ecosystem. Chromies are cool. Don't get me wrong. I think that like what they've done is cool. The historical aspect is cool. I have just never traded that way.
That's fair.
I feel weird holding stuff for like a week, if I'm honest.
I have all kinds of stuff in my hidden folder that I was like, yes, this could be relevant in the future. Like, I'm just gonna leave it in there for a little bit and check back on it.
I do have some generative stuff in there, but it's like stupid and nothing will probably ever happen to it.
I have some pieces I straight up bought just to collect. I knew they would never make me money, but like I genuinely just liked them. It's like, I want this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just would never.
Yeah.
I get that people do that though. I just don't.
I'm very conflicted with this, but I do think that I would go with the Chromie squiggle. I do really see a frame purchase in my future, you know? Like, I do want like an NFT frame that I can put somewhere in my apartment and start to show off some of the things that I've collected. Even if, as Drip Cult said, like, I liked the way it looked, I don't think it's going to, you know, be a moonshot later, and I didn't pay a particular amount. But there is actually a lot of great art out there in NFT form that you could buy for like 0.01, 0.02. Maybe it's never relevant. Maybe it's never worth more than that, but still would look pretty good hanging on the wall. I think Chromie is one of those ones that, like, you know, if you stash it away for 20, 30 years and this all goes where you think it's going to go, it's going to be the equivalent of like, oh shit, you have a Jackson Pollock or something like that. You know, maybe not.
Be like
quite.
a Fidenza.
Yeah. Well, Fidenzas are a whole nother. Fidenzas are fucking sweet too, though.
There's a new project coming out soon.
Tyler Hobbs.
Another.
Is that Tyler Hobbs? Yeah. Yeah, he does some pretty cool stuff too. We'll talk about Fidenza one. I don't have that lined up in the Would You Rather. The next Would You Rather is two projects. One that is down a lot from its all-time highs, and one that has gone on a bit of a tear. Everyone's favorite success story, Pudgy Penguins, against formerly of Larva Labs, now of Yuga Labs, Meebits. Meebits is often not talked about very much, but it was, you know, the successor to the CryptoPunks, sitting at about a 3.5 ETH floor. Pudgy Penguin sitting at about a 3 ETH floor, was about 3.5 the other day, so we will just call them the same and just do the rounding up thing again. Meebits or Pudgy Penguins? Dirty Milk.
Oh, I don't know a ton about Meebits.
I find this one interesting just because Meebits Pudgy Penguins has like just gone on their run, right? So you know, this is a bit of a different dynamic in terms of, you know, someone like yourself taking one of these because of the trading aspect of it.
Are Meebits, are they the one that like supposedly predated punks or something?
No.
Or is that
No.
What am I thinking of? Then I don't know. I'd probably just go Pudgy for the fact that I just think that they have a lot of hype around them right now, for like a shorter term flip, but I just don't know much about Meebits, if I'm honest.
Yeah, Meebits was what Larva Labs is kind of like metaverse ready avatar, you know, that they wanted to put out there. Bunch of different styles. There's like the elephants and the pigs and like the humans and like all of that stuff. So again, a bit of more of a historical project, but you know, I look at these sometimes and think like, man, those look terrible, and then sometimes I'm like, they're actually kind of cool.
I remember these looking a lot worse. Now I'm looking at
right,
the
yeah, like I thought that too. I pulled them up recently, and I was like, not as bad as I remember.
I mean, like, yeah. I don't know. I don't like. For me, my initial thought was absolutely Pudgy, like if no ifs, ands, or buts. But I don't know if Yuga. I feel like Yuga has so many other properties and things they're gonna want to promote and or explore, but before Meebits, that is. But at the same time, if they're really pushing other side, I mean, you got punks, you got Meebits, you got apes that all work in there. So I don't know. But Pudgies, can't rule Pudgies out. I talked about this in the newsletter, and I brought it up to you guys. Like, if Pudgies can kind of bridge the gap and move into, you know, the real world, and they can, you know, target that, you know, children's demographic, like they can really rake it in. There's so much money to be made there. Like parents are always going to be spending on kids, and these are cute enough where kids will like them, especially if they can follow like the toy. You know, they have that children's book that just is coming out. They have the toys that are coming out, if not out already. I can't remember. But man, if they can tap into that, the revenue stream from that is going to be next level. I don't know if it'll be as much as, you know, Yuga per se, but I don't know if there's going to be any point in holding a Meebits. I'm not sure. I'm very torn right now, actually.
Yeah, I'm taking the Meebits as exposure to not only Yuga Labs at this point, but also Larva Labs. And I know that they're not associated with the project anymore, but Larva is going to go down as like one of the OGs in the NFT industry. And again, I think that I always view these through the lens of a longer time horizon. It's been fun watching Pudgy Penguins come back. It's a good story. They've definitely had a couple of moments now, and I do think that they're probably in a position where their longevity is secured more than like a Cool Cats or something like that, who just again time and time again just can't seem to get off the mat and shake their demons. Whereas Pudgy Penguins has kind of gone through a lot, and the community has really rallied behind it. You know, again, I think as Drip Cult said, like leaning into the idea that they're cute and like maybe this is something that, you know, kids want. I don't know. I don't know how that all plays out because we haven't really hit that paradigm yet where it's just like I'm gonna buy this for my 4-year-old or something, right? Like, but
I think they passed the test. Like if you saw a Pudgy, if a random person saw a Pudgy Penguin on the shelf, like that thing is cute enough to be like, oh, I'll get this for my kid. Like not they don't care that it's an NFT. They don't care how it started. They don't care about the history. Like if you like a shelf test for that, like 100%, I could see parents or even kids being like, that's cute. I like that. Give me that. Buy now.
fair. Yeah, I guess the
I'm
thing
gonna go Pudgy Penguins.
yeah, I think you
I
just
guess
talked yourself into that, right? Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
I think the thing about Meebits is just that like they're out there, they do exist, they have existed, and they don't, you know, you could be bearish on Yuga wanting to do anything with them, but I don't think that Yuga needs to do anything with them. You know, like it's just a complete collection that's out there and exists, and sure, it's under the Yuga umbrella. So if they decide to push it or incorporate it into more of what they're doing, then it's a bonus. But
Do you think they'll open up skins like like selling Meebits or punks or whatever as skins, kind of like how Fortnite? Because Fortnite is just the king of collabs and just like bringing in new IP into their universe and just like making so much money off of just selling skins.
I think it'd have to be somebody's famouses, like
yeah,
Ape or something like that.
the Eminem Bored Ape, all of a
Oh,
sudden
yeah.
running around.
I think that would be like cool.
Because
But I don't know.
I think he would get a cut of the sales of that too.
Yeah, it'd be a way to people.
I can't
for people
imagine
to
that like
monetize.
you know, every time someone buys an Iron Man skin in Fortnite that like Marvel doesn't get their cut. Like I'm sure they do. Right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, that'd be interesting. When Fortnite Bored Ape skin, that's gotta be somewhere on the
That-
horizon.
That has
Didn't
to.
even do that.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw. Oh, it's September. I was gonna say before the end of the year. I'd say within a year's time. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Bored Ape skin in Fortnite.
I can
think
guarantee you that conversation has happened.
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely.
Especially considering I don't like. I mean, other side looks like it's built on the Unreal Engine as well. Just as far as the movements and everything, is that, or do they create their own engine?
I think it's Unreal though.
Cool.
That's a quick Google search away.
Mhm.
True.
All right, let's move into the last Would You Rather before we wrap this episode up. This is a more high-priced purchase, but, you know, we're putting all of our liquidity on the line, and we are putting up another Larva Labs special, the CryptoPunk, sitting at a 65 ETH floor right now, versus the aforementioned Proof Collective, sitting at a 60 ETH floor, rounding up for the sake of ease there. Proof Collective, 1,000 piece collection. It gets you into the very distinguished, very esteemed Kevin Rose Proof Discord with access to some of the biggest and brightest minds and artists in the NFT space. CryptoPunks, it's just no G. I don't know that it needs any introduction. It exists. They're a complete collection. They were at one point the preeminent NFT collection in the entire world. And I don't think that there's any doubt that they're going to go away. Are you buying a CryptoPunk or are you buying a Proof Pass? Trip.
Oh, Proof Pass. Yeah.
That
I
was
want Proof
quick.
Pass. Yeah, I don't have to think about it. I don't really care about CryptoPunks anymore. Yeah, like you said, like I remember when I first got into NFTs, like the holy grail was a CryptoPunk. Now I could care less. I don't know what Yuga is going to do with them. I'm sure for people who hold it, it's going to work out well, but like I think you'll get paid out way more just holding a free pass and having access to that Discord. Even though, like, I mean, like we all know what happens in the Discord. It's not really like some crazy alpha group. It's mostly just like rich dudes talking about rich things. But
There's an
there's
insane
still a
level
lot
of
of people.
access, though. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like networking and having access to some of those people, it definitely helps. But like for the most part, it's not you're not missing out much in there from what I've heard. Um, but yeah, mainly Proof Pass because of what's happening in the proof world, what's coming, and then like just yeah, Kevin Rose is gonna win.
Yeah, I mean, the closer I can get to Daddy Kevin, I mean, the better. So I'm going Proof all day.
I think if you had asked me this 2 weeks ago, I probably would have picked CryptoPunks just like immediately. It's really hard to discount the relevance and the importance of that collection as much as like I don't think that it's the most spectacular art or anything like that. I mean, the list of holders of CryptoPunks is pretty spectacular as well. Uh, but yeah, lately again, like going down the Kevin Rose rabbit hole and listening to him talk, the people that he speaks to, the thought process and all of that stuff, and now the funding that they've raised and what they have on the horizon. Yeah, and Proof Collective is I think just continually WGMI all the way around, right? And I think that if there's any group of people that know how to continually and perpetually deliver value to their holders, it's really hard to bet against that. So I'm with you three or you two
I think
on this.
yeah, I think CryptoPunks is still a great investment. Like if you were to buy one, you're not going to be bummed by any means. I mean, like they're still going to have something going on with them. I'm not sure what Yuga is going to do with them, but like, I mean, the value is probably not going to go to zero. So
No, there
But
is too much
definitely,
underlying desire for these. Like there will be a floor price that like is just an automatic buy
Mhm.
for people.
I mean, most people still think it's the first ever NFT project.
Yeah.
I was gonna kind of touch on that same. Like if you're buying for a flex, a punk is definitely a better way to go for people that aren't in the space. You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
you're not gonna PFP a Proof Pass.
I can't see these ever going below 50 ETH again. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I just think there's too many people that are flush with ETH that have such a low dollar cost basis to that Ethereum that, like, if these just drop, they'll just be like, yeah, I'll pick up one. Yeah, I'll buy another one. Like, you know what I mean? I can't see them ever going that low. Proof, I could. I could see it. Not like super hard, but and I think it would be a pretty sharp bounce back up. But in terms of just like deliverables and what's coming up next, I think that Proof, until proven otherwise, is winning. You know.
100%.
Agreed.
All right. On that note, we are about an hour in. Anything else you beautiful degens want to touch on before we wrap this show up?
No, I'm not gonna lie, that was a lot of fun. I like that. Would you rather?
That was fun.
Yeah, we will definitely think of a couple of other segments we can do time and on the show. Just more of an opinion piece, more just like comparative. Doesn't have to be would you rather all the time, but just something more fun to do than that. Than just rhyming off the news every single time.
Yeah, yeah.
All
Keep
right.
an eye out for some of those Gabby tweets.
Keep your ear to the ground.
Gabby
And,
Maxi, Daddy Kevin Maxi.
turn on
Yeah,
notification for Gabby there. Yeah.
100%.
Man, I can't even imagine. Well, okay, let's cap this off with just like a quick one-word answer. What is the floor price of DigiDaigaku the next Thursday when we are on this show?
11.5 to 12.
Mine was like 9 to 10. Yeah.
9 to 10. All right,
Yeah.
I'll just take the complete opposite and say 17.
Okay.
I think we're going up.
I don't know. For all we know,
Short
this
down
airdrop
and
is,
straight up.
yeah, for all we know, the airdrop is amazing, and they somehow discover a way to do something that no one else has done before, which I doubt, but you never know. And only 785 people are getting it, so
And that's my point, right? Like, it's just I believe that they can get.
actually, I think less because I think the project still holds 100. I think if I read the wallet holdings right.
Yeah,
So-
but we know the unique holders is about 780 or something like
Yeah.
that. So I mean, the community wallet only takes up one of those.
No, yeah, no, I meant more like less supply that's going to be available from there.
Oh yeah, we don't even know what the supply is. I mean,
Yeah, we
people
don't
could
know
be
what the
getting
supply
10
is,
of
that's
every
true.
something. I don't know.
That's true. Very true.
It will be fun to recap, and I think next week we'll probably have some more like Ute stuff to talk about. DigiDaigaku's and Utes, that seems to be approaching pretty
Next week?
quickly. I don't know. Again, Solana
It's like
don't even have a
soon.
phantom
Did
wallet.
they
myself.
not already mint?
No. I don't think so yet. I think they.
Oh, I think I saw Utes on ETH that minted. That's probably why.
Yeah.
um,
The shoe is on the other foot now with the ETH derivative collections of Solana.
1,000 Ute spots left. I can't remember when this launches. I don't know. I got nothing for you real quick, but sorry.
I should have
Sorry.
even brought it up.
Oh.
There we go.
September 2nd, tomorrow.
Yeah, that's it. Eh?
Yeah. So yeah, we'll definitely be talking about Utes and DigiDaigaku's next time.
There it is. All right, guys, on that note, if you don't mind doing us a favor, please hit the like and subscribe button to the Alpha Mint YouTube page. It does go a long way to helping us out, and it just makes us feel good about ourselves when we see that number go up. If you haven't already, go to exitliquidity.io. Go sign up for the newsletter that Drip Cult works very, very hard on twice a week. It touches on some of the stuff that we talk about on this show, but also gives you a lot more other newsworthy things that you can check out and read while you're sitting on the toilet for your morning poop or, whatever you're doing. It's a great read, and definitely been expanding on it a little bit more, like actually doing more article or opinion-based stuff on some of the hotter or more notable topics. So always a good read, and you definitely don't want to miss that as well. So on that note, Exit Liquidity episode number 6 is in the books. Dirty Milk, Drip Cult. We'll do it again next week.
See you guys.
Later, fam.
Peace. Love it.
I'll never forget the one dude when they do it again in the office, the guy with the nerd with the glasses guy. He goes,
Oh yeah, dude, that's one of the best. I felt like I'm the only person that ever noticed that. So I'm glad.
"No way, the guy's so good."